my controller is. There it is. Anyway, I'm back, everybody. Today is Sunday, July 6, 2025. It's 8:45 in the afternoon, and it's 82 degrees. Not as hot as I would like. And if you look at the weather for Lower Westchester next week, it sucks. It sucks. It shows rain every day for like 8 days in a row. Now, I don't know how long during the day, but man, I'm trying something new today. Let's see, can I get it? Grass a little thick. Wow. I thought this little buggy would do better in the grass, but it don't. But anyway, I'm not out here really to talk about RC cars. I'm actually just out here. Let me see if I could put it a little different so you don't see my garbage. And I know I got to start using microphones. Microphones work a lot better. But I don't know if anybody feels the way I do, but right after July 4th, I feel like the summer's almost over. Like I said, I don't know if people feel the same way, but I just have a funny feeling this summer's gonna go quick. You know, usually we start the summer, if we're lucky, we start the summer at the end of May, we try to. But because of all the crappy weather, we really couldn't, do anything so far. Like, weather in Lower Westchester sucked this year. And if you look at, I smell fireworks. If you look at the weather for next week, it's gonna suck. 8 days in a row of rain. I don't get it. I took out, believe it or not, I got this RC probably whenever it was released, 6, 8, 9 months ago. And I think it's the first time I'm using it. And this ain't the only one. I think I have about 20, 25, 30 RCs that I never put batteries and even ran them yet. Which is bad because if any of them have, defects, it's too late to do anything about. I like this. I like the Groms. The only thing is the Groms are really only good for hard surface. I just tried to run this Grom in the grass and it didn't do well. And this is a brushless motor. I thought it was going to do pretty good, but it's not. This is just meant for this kind of road. I also have a few of these I'm going to be giving away because I bought the brush version first. Then when the brushless version came out, obviously I bought the brushless version. Originally I was going to keep the brush version for my son in case if he wanted to bang him up, even though he could use my brushless versions also. But sometimes he gets a little careless and he just hits a curb purposely. But he's not into RCs much at all. And I have so many that he could technically use, so I'm not just going to keep them to keep them. Like, you go to some of these RC channels and they have a wall of, 300. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to keep the ones that are cool looking, and I'm going to keep the ones that I like the way they work. I'm just not keeping triples of like the Vortex I have. Why do I have 3 Vortex? I first bought the rear-wheel drive brush version. Then they came out with the brushless 4-wheel drive. Then they came out with the brushless 2-wheel drive. The third one, which was the brushless 2-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, I ordered not paying attention. I saw a text from Horizon Hobby that we had new RCs being released. Of course, I put the pre-order in. I was half asleep. Then when it arrived in the mail, I realized it was a Vortex. I'm like, but I got 2 of these already. This Chrome works really well. I just wish it had like a kit for lights and stuff. And that's the one thing that Traxxas does well. Almost all their RCs have upgradable kits with lights and all kinds of things. This is definitely cool. Yeah, this is the Chrome, the Armor Chrome. This is the Mojave, the brushless version. I'm going to be giving away the brush version shortly on here. I had one giveaway a week ago that the prize is going out tomorrow. And the next one will be an RC car. It'll probably be one of the brush versions I have. It may be the Vortex, it may be the Chrome Mojave. I have a Typhoon Chrome with the brushed, engine. I'm not keeping them just to keep them. On eBay, they're only worth $100, $125. I'd rather give them to somebody in the community. Ooh, almost. Let me put on some lights over here so you can see a little better. And not much better, but like I was telling somebody a little while ago, I like coming out this time of night. This is like my favorite time because between 8 and 9, especially in the summer. In the winter, no, because between 8 and 9 in the winter is like midnight. Matter of fact, between 5 and 6 is like the same, not even, it gets dark by 5 o'clock. Unfortunately, you still have the rush hour at that time. But 7 days a week in New York between 8 and 9, rush hour is already gone. In the summer, you have just a little light left like we have here. Lightning bugs, you'll have lightning bugs for another few weeks and then they disappear. Crazy how we have certain bugs that disappear. Like right now, there's millions of lightning bugs. That's how you know you're around 4th of July, because you get lightning bugs from a little before the 4th and to a week or 2 after. Last year we had the cicadas, which were really nice. If you came out here at this time last year, you would have heard, it would have sounded like millions of cicadas talking at the same time. And it sounded so relaxing. Like if you closed your eyes, you would have swore you were upstate New York somewhere. And I know the cicadas, I looked it up, like last year was like a super year. And that's why like you heard them so, I guess where I am, because every 15, no, not even, every like 30 years you get like a superset. Then every 15 years you get like another set, but then in between that you don't hear much. I haven't heard a cicada at all this year. And we're already at the 6th. And like I was telling somebody again earlier, I feel like once July 4th comes, it's almost like a countdown for the summer to be over already, which sucks. I guess that's what what's nice about living in Florida, because back in the days you would get nice weather all year. I remember being in Orlando, Florida for Valentine's Day. And this is going back 15, 16 years ago. And it was so hot that we gave all our VIP tickets, and we ended up going back to the pool at one of the Disney hotels. I got people coming by on the plane, so hold on. People still doing fireworks too. It's amazing. All right, I'm alone again. I had people passing by. What I was saying is 15, 20 years ago, even in the dead of winter, you would still have 90-degree weather for the pool. The last 2 winters we went to Florida, it was so cold, nobody was in the pool. The poor lifeguards was walking around it like with like winter gear on. They were just walking so fast to stay warm. And we were in Florida, we were in Orlando, Florida this February, I believe it was 18th to the 23rd, or 17th to the 23rd. And there wasn't one pool day. And you know, my wife and I, we don't really go to Disney or Universal for the pools, but it's nice to have that as an option. And the last 2 times, it was two Novembers ago and this February. And both times it was so cold that you wouldn't, it was almost like New York weather. I mean, maybe not as cold as New York in February because we could be really cold. But for Florida weather, put it this way, my wife was wearing like a thin jacket and pants. I even wore pants one of the nights. And yeah, I know things are changing. Climate's always changing. I mean, if we live long enough, New York may have California weather, California may have New York weather, etc. You know, 1,000 years from now, who knows what'll happen. Surprised people are doing fireworks tonight. I'm only surprised because we had really good weather for the 4th. I mean, probably one of the best 4th of July weathers we've had in a long time. We usually don't get rain on the 4th, but this one was like perfect. Not too hot, not too cool. We got to do all our fireworks. And if you people hear a lisp, that's because I'm in the middle of getting an implant. And they gave me a flipper. It's the bottom middle tooth. They gave me a flipper if I wanted to wear it out, in public. But I told my wife, nope, it's not comfortable. You can't eat with it in, so you still got to take it out often. My wife jokes and she says, don't go out with her like this, looking like a crackhead, but I don't care. I don't want, it's an implant that's going in. I'm not worried about a flipper, but that's why you may hear me with like a lisp, because sometimes my tongue goes to that spot and there's no tooth there. So, but yeah, I hear the fireworks. They're going pretty strong tonight. I don't know if you guys could hear them. But yeah, like I said, I'll be giving away I'll probably be giving away the Chrome first because it's a smaller box, easier to ship. The Vortex is a big box. Matter of fact, no, there's no one here. I was going to take the Vortex as a... This is a good time to have a RC with a light, and none of these have lights, so I think I'm gonna Let me take this in. I just got hit with a lightning bug. That's funny. All right, people, I'm back. I put the armor grown back because it has no light, so it's getting hard to see out here. Then I realized I have the Vortex, and that has no lights on it neither, so maybe I'll get an RC with some lights. But what I was saying, these are the nights I enjoy. Last year, after the cancer scare, then I had a heart condition scare. It really made me want to enjoy life. Today I actually got up early for myself. I think I got up at 9 or 8:30, got out of the house, did what I had to do, visited my dad, and I was back by a little after 12. But there's days I don't get up until after 12. And what's bad about that is staying in bed to 12. By the time you get up and you do anything, it's 3 o'clock, the day's over. Or it seems like half the day's over. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to get up early, wash the cars. I was gonna pay somebody to come and detail it, both cars. But you're looking at $175 plus tip, where if I get up early enough, I mean, I don't know, it's not even being cheap. It's also good exercise. I saw somebody I follow on Instagram, he has a Rolls Royce, and he says every Friday he cleans it himself because it it kind of grounds him a little bit. And I could see that. I don't have a Rolls Royce, but I could see, doing something like that on your own. I only don't usually wash my own car or my own truck, because after I could spend 3 hours washing it, and then when I look, it looks like I missed so many spots. And I try every technique in the book, foam guns, this, that, all kinds of things. And when I'm done, it looks like I missed this spot or that spot. I don't know if I have the hardest rims in the world to clean on my Durango Hellcat, but I could spend so much time just on the rims alone. And then when I'm done, they're not clean. So I give up. 25 years ago, when I was running around the streets, I would get a car wash at Lorenzo's Tint in the Bronx because I lived right by there. He had some guy doing hand washes. I would go there if it wasn't raining. That was my first stop in the day. Coffee, car wash, and then I would do what I had to do. That, and at least every 4 or 5 days I would get a haircut. Now, I could go without a professional car wash for months and a haircut for months. Ain't that something? My wife cuts my hair now since COVID. And there's really no good hand body shops or hand car washes around here. There's a few that suck. There's one in Tuckahoe, New York that's a drive-through. It's like the regular price, but there's nobody at the end to dry it. There's nobody really in the front to make sure all the extra dirt is off. So you spend like $25 and it's like nothing gets done. Then there's one in White Plains, right by the Westchester Mall, that they actually have people who vacuum in the front. They have people who dry it at the end. And I gave them a shot 3 times, and every time I give them a shot, my car looks just as dirty when I'm done. The wheels look like they're barely touched. I mean, they do a crappy job and you're spending 30 bucks. They have like, it looks like a few older ladies at the end trying to dry your car. Of course they're not doing a good job. I mean, I feel bad, but that's not the job for them. I got a cut up my arm too. Let me show you guys. There's a nasty cut. I went to ENT to get tested for allergies, so they used this machine, and one of the machines gave me like some scar over here. And it turns out I'm allergic to like half a dozen things. I'm allergic to trees and tree pollen and this and that. I'm slightly allergic to dog hair, but they said not like crazy. And then I was supposed to go talk to the doctor to see what to do, because right now I'm just taking like an Allegra every day, but he was running super late, and I told him I didn't feel like spending hours there, so I bounced, and now I just have to make another appointment. I just don't like it when you have an appointment for a certain time and they're hours late and they don't even tell you. It's like, come on, tell me. No reason to actually be hours late neither no more. You know, if you're not an emergency doctor, if somebody else comes late, then that should be their problem. Not, you can't let customers mess up your whole day. Again, if you do emergency type things where you're taking emergency patients in, that's different. But if you're not taking emergency patients in and people are just messing up your day because they're coming late, that should be on them. You should not inconvenience the rest of your day with all your patients because of one or two inconsiderate people. I mean, I'm 51 years old. I don't think I've ever got to the doctor's a minute late or more. Never. Never. 51 years old, and I go to a lot of doctors that have Crohn's disease, diabetes, some kind of back disease. Never. So I can't picture there being much an excuse. And like I said, if there is, then they should make that person wait. Don't screw up the whole day where then people are like hours behind. My appointment for ENT was like at 5 o'clock. And I heard somebody go up to the desk a little after 5 saying they were supposed to be seen at 4:30 and they're still there. And I know my appointment was for 5, so I went to the desk saying, how many people is he behind? And they were like, oh, he's behind a few. I said, all right, I'm out. You know, at least tell the people. And I like them too, doc them a lot. But I don't like, you know, stuff like that. Also, my cardio doctor, he's okay. But his front staff, not only do they look miserable, and that's what I told him. I said, you know, your front staff represents you guys. They look like they hate their lives. Not only that, last time I was there and I'm waiting an hour, and finally I'm like, yo, I'm gonna leave if they're not ready. And they're like, oh, somebody forgot to like put me in the system. Long story short, the doctor apologized, but like I told him, I went to the front desk a few times asking what was wrong, and no one was smart enough to double check to see if I was in the system. You know, Disney World, because I'd never been to Disney, which is the one in Florida? Disney World, Disneyland, Disney World. Disney World I've been to 20 times. Whoever hires their workers and whoever hires Trader Joe workers, everyone should take notice because they have the best employees on earth. Don't matter who they are, what they are, they're the best. They are always happy. Trader Joe's and Disney World. Some of the worst is like Best Buy. You go to Best Buy or Rye Playland now in Rye, they want to know why I don't even know how they get the workers they get there. But some of the worst work, you know, when you're just hiring people just to hire them for the sake of hiring them, you're going to get bad employees. If you're afraid to say something to them, you're going to have bad employees. And then these companies wonder why they're going out of business. You're going out of business because you hire the wrong people, and then you're afraid to fire the wrong people. Next week, I plan on also doing an eBay Live. I don't know if you guys could hear me. I got to start using the microphone. I have like 6 microphones, DJIs, and so many others. I've just been lazy. I'll start using them tomorrow. But I'm gonna start doing eBay live shows. It's almost gonna be like an HSN QVC experience. The difference is if you're a subscriber to my channel, you get an additional 10% off and sometimes even other perks. Free shipping or something, depending on the item. I'm gonna have everything from MetaQuest 2 glasses with all the accessories that are brand new. Apple Vision Pro, which is basically brand new. A bunch of video games, like everything's gonna be, you know, I don't have junk. Sneakers, they're my size 8. I even have the Tiffany Nike Air Force Ones, black with the Tiffany silver on the back. And I actually bought the Tiffany silver front for the front pieces. I even bought the Nike Tiffany tongue thing, but I'm not selling that. The thing to put your foot in, to slide your foot in, I forgot what it's called. But anyway, I have a lot of items I'm selling. I have to make room because my house is overcrowded with sneakers, with toys, with gear, even remote control cars. I mean, I'm at, I think, 173, and I have a new Traxxas coming, the Raptor R, the Ultimate Edition, the black and gold. I have another Losi coming, which is the race cars. I have 2 new FMS crawlers, I believe, coming. And I have another MJX coming. That's what I could remember off the top of my head. So 73, 74, 75, so I'll be at 79 RCs, which is way too many for this house and, you know, property to hold. I have them in my office, my garage, my family room, my basement. But like I was saying earlier, I'm not trying to collect them like some of these guys on here have rooms and storages with them. I'm only keeping what I want, the ones that I like. And I also don't like keeping triples of certain, you know, certain cars. Like I have the Vortex, I have 3 of them. Why did I buy 3 of them? The first 2, one was brushed, then it was brushless, a 4-wheel drive brushless. Then they came out with a 2-wheel drive brushless. And like I was explaining earlier, I ordered it early morning or late night one night when it was first released, not realizing it was something that I already have 2 of. And I don't like them that much to have 3 of them. To be honest, I don't even think I want 2 of them. I just don't want to get beat in the head with the prices. As a matter of fact, I have all 3 right here. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. This is the original rear-wheel drive brush version. Then this is the 4-wheel drive brushless. And this is the one that just came a week or so ago, the rear-wheel drive brushless. But like I said, it makes literally no sense. I know you guys can't see them. Again, if these were a Traxxas and I could add the lights and other things, maybe I would keep 2 of them. But because I can't, this is basically what they are. I'm definitely getting rid of the first one, the brush version. And I don't know if I'm even keeping the other. I may keep 1. I don't know. I may keep the all-wheel drive one, but I just got the pink one, the rear-wheel drive brushless. So I may keep those 2. But this one is definitely going. It may not be the first car I give away. I'm probably going to give away a Chrome first, a brushed Chrome. These 2 have wheelie bars because they could use the wheelie bar. Like I said, it would have made sense if they added some lights. Couldn't they add lights? That's why I like Velario. They're like a cheap brand, but not so cheap. But they add the lights. You don't have to add the lights. I was gonna actually play with the MJX, the first one that I got last June 18th, but I didn't have the controller handy. And when you have 170 something RCs going through the controllers, even though you have them, with the names on them, still a pain in the neck. Today I actually started putting things in order, like all my Armor stuff here, all my FMS here, all my Traxxas here. I have to do that with the remotes now, so that all my remotes for this company's here, so I could find things a little easier. And I'll do that maybe tonight. Yeah, it's oddly quiet tonight. It's 9:15. No cicadas, no birds. Almost like a Twilight Zone in a way. It's kind of weird. I hear some crazy fireworks, which make no sense to me. Like I said, we had really good weather. Why would you be doing fireworks 2 days later? I'm not sure. Tuckahoe is doing fireworks. I think sometime next weekend. I used to go because my aunt lives right there, so we would have front row seats. But this year, I don't even think they have the Gucci brothers doing them, which could be a problem because the last time they had like a different company do them, they sucked. Plus, they only have something from like 6 o'clock to like 9. So they don't get a lot of vendors because they know how do you make your money back in those short hours? Like instead of doing something all day like they should do something from like noon up or even earlier, but they don't. So every year they have like less and less vendors because the vendors know it's from like 6 to 9. They probably don't get a good deal, a good return on investment. So people know that, so they don't even, they used to even have like free music. They haven't even been doing that lately. The Pope Foundation used to run things and they're not running it no more. But like I was telling somebody an hour ago, I'm gonna list the shows so that people know my eBay shows, my RC shows, my just rant shows. Like tonight, I'm basically just hanging out, bullshitting with you guys. It's like you guys are my friends through the internet. I'm hoping that I could find some like-minded people to go bashing with the RCs, to do the portable DJing with. This part of Lower Westchester doesn't have anything. Like I said, I'm 51 years old. Now, I just got into video games 4 years ago. I think I bought the Switch in 2019, and that's when I got into it. And then I bought the PlayStation 5. But growing up, we didn't have enough money for toys and video games, so I chose toys. A lot of kids didn't have to choose because their dads were into it, so their dads bought it for them and let the kids play it. My dad wasn't into video games. He's not into anything. Even today, he's 85, but he'll still tell me, like, why are you buying another RC car? He's not the type of dad to be like, oh, you're getting another RC car here? Let me, surprise me for one for Christmas or something like that. No, never was. Yeah. You could just sit here. I have to find a way to read the comments better too. Maybe use 2 screens somehow, one for comments, one not, so I could actually chit chat with you guys back and forth. Don't forget, with the eBay shows, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you get an extra 10%. And I appreciate the people who subscribe. I subscribe to so many people during the day, especially if I see they're trying to do something, because to me, that's almost like it's my way of helping somebody that doesn't even cost me a thing. Like it doesn't, for me to just hit subscribe and like, even if it's not something that I'm necessarily completely into, if it looks like a person who's trying, I do it because it's my way of giving back, and it costs me nothing except a second of my time. So I definitely appreciate the people who do it for me, because I know I don't have my stuff scheduled correctly. I don't have my editing down. I have editors ready to go to work. I have all the equipment, but I just been doing things quick. Like that's why I've been doing a lot of lives, because lives you're not editing, you're just going live. You're going live, you're talking, you're chit chatting, you're not editing anything. But I plan on doing some edited shows shortly. And like I said, I plan on having like a weekly list of what's going to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. And one of the things I'm going to be big on is giving back to the community. Like I said, I already gave something away last week, and it's going out tomorrow. It's a Switch controller. The next thing will be an RC car. All you have to do is like, subscribe. The video that I'll be putting out shortly about the RC car. And right now I'm only also doing shipping to the lower 48 states of the USA for two reasons. Number one, it's obviously a lot cheaper, but it's also a lot easier. Shipping out of the country, like my mother-in-law is in Portugal, their city, states, zips, and all that's all different. So you got to get to the post office to figure it out. Somebody who lives in the lower 48 states, not only is it cheap, it's easy. I know the state, the city, the zip, all that stuff. But I will be doing stuff for the rest of the world shortly. The next one will be for the lower 48 states, but then I'm going to do a game code for the Switch 2 or the Switch, and that's going to be just a code. So I could send that to anybody all over the world as long as they could use the code in their system. And that'll be the next giveaway. That'll be not the next giveaway, but the one right after that one. Next will be the RC, and then you'll have the code for the Switch 2 or the Switch 1 game. So that one you could enter even if you live in, Zimbabwe. As long as you could use the code on the system, we're good to go. So stay tuned. Yes, I do like giving back to the community because I can. It's something I could do. It doesn't hurt me. It's also going to build up the community without, I don't have sponsors yet, but it's a way of, me being able to help, hopefully grow the channel. So next week it'll be a RC car. The week after that, it'll be a Switch or Switch 2 code that anyone, as long as you could access the code, I would send it to you guys. Anyone could enter. So I think being up early is finally catching up to me because I'm over here slurring a little bit. And usually I don't go to bed until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's only 9:22. I may go back inside, watch a little more Narcos. I don't know if anybody's been watching Narcos. It's not even new. I know it came out in 15 and ended in 17, but I just found out about it a few months ago, and I must have watched the 3 seasons 5 times now. The first 2 seasons are great, but then the 3rd season's kind of separate, but that's also great. Watching that show kind of just makes me feel like it just brings me back because everybody in that show smokes cigarettes. And at least in the United States, we don't see that much anymore. My mom was a big smoker. She actually died of lung cancer 2 years ago. This October will be 3 years. And I think that's what made me hate smoking because I saw my mom doing it my whole life. But watching a show like Narcos, I mean, they're not smoking a little bit, they're smoking constantly in that show. Makes me feel like, I'm watching, my family. I was watching some old Johnny Carson shows on YouTube. It was like the Johnny Carson channel. And I was watching shows. I was born in 73. I was watching shows from 74 and 75. And it's crazy watching those shows, seeing Johnny Carson smoke in between talking to guests. Like, it's crazy. All right, people. Again, thanks for watching. If you're interested in the Grom, that'll be next week. And if you're interested in a Switch or Switch 2 game code, that'll be the week after. And that's for anyone around the world. So don't forget, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys. I keep saying one of these nights I'm going to go and play some Switch 2 games with you guys, because I think I bought 8 or 9 Switch 2 games. And I haven't played any of them except the stupid one that was $10 to show you how to use the system. I played that for maybe 20 minutes. All the other games I didn't even turn on yet. But if I could get some energy tonight after I lay down with my son and he goes to sleep, maybe I'll come back on with you guys and play a little Switch 2 games if anyone's interested to hang out later. All right, people. Ciao, everyone.